Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another all-you-can-eat Chelsea episode. I was just telling the boys how angry I am, enraged that I couldn't do the watch-along yesterday, guys. I'm still not over it because it ended up being some incredible games. But StreamYard is working again. We are live. We are able to do the live shows again. Me and Saeed were just sitting there, we were just watching it, texting each other, just like, yo, man, this is mad. Every single goal that goes in is a negative at this point. And we are going to talk a bit about the Champions League. There's a lot of drama. And I saw Younes's review on it about the fact that we're not in it and how we're going to end up missing it again. And I hope they're watching. I hope the ownership, the manager, the directors are watching the Champions League this week. I hope they're getting the bug for it, because you need to plan a way back into it, because we missed. I mean, it was incredible. Don't get me wrong, as a now neutral, but it's something that we need to be a part of again, man, because those nights are very, very special. But Miz, how you feeling, bro? How you doing? How you doing, man?
Yeah, feeling good, man. I've fully accepted who we are, and I'm embracing the new Chelsea. You know, I'm not gonna be all angry and disgruntled all throughout. It's not good for your mental health, man. You gotta live up your life. I enjoyed, just like yourself, I enjoyed the Champions League matches between Bayern Munich, cheering on Thomas Tuchel against Arsenal. Then I caught up on the Real Madrid and Manchester City crackerjack off a match. Everyone was hitting bangers over there. Like, yeah, one side of me was feeling so sad that, are we ever going to see this again? You know, have we disappeared from the face of Earth, I suppose? But what can you do, Matisse, man? What can you do? You can only talk about what's in front of you. And right now, Chelsea's not in front of us. So we need to move on as well. Do you know what I mean?
Younes, are you having the same sentiment, brother? But welcome back. I mean, it's very difficult for me because we were just in Champions League last year. So it's very difficult for me to detach from the great competition. We don't go out of it 2 years on the trot. It doesn't happen. And we was just in it last year. We were playing Real Madrid ourselves, as Manchester City are now. And it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel good. I can't accept it. I can't take it in. How you doing, brother?
No, this is the thing. And yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to you guys. I'm in two minds that kind of joins into one. One is I agree, Miz, completely, 100%. Look, we're not in Champions League. We won't be next season, and the way that it's going, we won't be the season after that either. This is where it's heading. Am I happy with it, or just going to willing to just sit back and just go no? There's a good part of me that wants to try and attempt to do something about it, but as Mrs. said, this is what's in front of us. It's not in our direct control. All we can do is vent our frustration. So yeah, this is the reality of the situation. It'd be different if this was like before, where we miss out on Champions League, but you just know that it's fine, don't worry, next season, back in it, piece of cake. It's not that, man. It's really not that. Look, the reality is we don't know when we're going to be back. If we're going to be back, when we're going to be back, God knows. God knows.
It's mad, isn't it? I was just thinking about the quote about the players. Watch if they play, where they play, how they play, all these things. Now we'll have to watch Chelsea. But it's funny because the last time we did this live, I think it was post Manchester United.
Yep.
We were so, we were clear. We were very clear about what we watched, but we were also, saying this is a late goal, a real opportunity to build some momentum, potentially to build some sort of unity in terms of the fans and the manager, because he was trying to link the two post-match and say that it was the first time he really felt Stamford Bridge was with him, or whatever it was. And we said, it's very important that we go and beat Sheffield United. It's a game away from home, but, they are bottom of the league. We have to get that job done. And then we can actually maybe, this week for Chelsea content, I've just walked away. Because I would have loved to on Monday to say, I'm still not believing it, because there's some very difficult fixtures to come, but I would have loved to have been able to try and map out a pathway to the top 7, which is Europa League qualification. I would have loved to have done a video where we could look at the fixtures ahead and say, right, let's try and plan for this now. But after that result, I think Younes as well just went AWOL. just went AWOL. I just disappeared. And we have got such a situation that our fan base is becoming so polarizing and so toxic that I got in trouble for saying nothing on Twitter. Saying nothing. Usually big accounts, you know, they get in trouble for going against the club.
Saying something. They get in trouble for saying something.
You're stirring up too much negativity, too much toxicity. I saw a post with CFC POIS, with CFC Daily, with Alex, with Dubois, negative accounts, toxic accounts. These accounts are the ones that are driving the engagement for their pockets on Twitter. Elon Musk money. And then you get, obviously, the people that are too positive and they must be getting paid. And I've mentioned this stuff before. I didn't tweet. Somebody added me and said, why are you running? Because we lost. Because we drew. Why are you not tweeting? I said, what? I said, excuse me. I'm trying to run. I'm trying to protect my mental health. What do you mean? Why am I running, bro? I've already done my review. People are like, no, you must tweet. I said, what? He said, you got a massive following. You got a massive following. You got all these people. Mate. You know, you need to say something. Don't just tweet when we win. I said, raw. Let me just take a step back here. So I'm really fucked here. What have I built? Bro, what have I done?
Bro, this is just evidence, and this is to everyone in the chat. You can't please everyone. No matter what you do, it's impossible to please everybody. So you just got to stick to your morals and stick to what you believe it's true, and that's it. Anyone that is with it are with it, and anyone that's against it, well, tough, run into a concrete wall. With that point, I got something similar. I had someone actually come into the comments, right, and go, "Oh, you know, Younes, all you're doing is talking. Like, you should be running the protest." I'm like, I should be running the protest, or I should try and advocate to get people to a certain location on my platform, bruv. That's not how it works. And this is what I've said. And we've been down this road before, Matisse.
We have.
With the whole rickets and whatnot. Do you understand how much engagement that got online? The whole concept of the rickets online got so much engagement, it was nuts. Everyone was on it.
Yeah.
How many people showed up? But it's not down to me to get people to the bridge. People are not going to rock up to the bridge. They're just not going to. This is why, if anything is going to happen within the fan base, right, it's going to come from the ones that go to the games, game in and game out. It's going to be done organically. It's going to be done when the timing is right, when it boils over, because the match-going fans can't deal with it anymore. That's how it's always been. That's how it'll always be. So we can vent our frustration. We can come on here and say it for what it is. That's as far as it goes. As far as it goes. So, I get it too. And look, like I've said, you can't please everyone. So stick to what you really, really believe is the case, and that's it, man.
It's mad. Even if you know, if it's not about quality but quantity now, you know, people are saying you land it, but you gotta land it every day. You gotta land it every minute of every hour of every day. We have mental health to protect people. We talk about Chelsea every single day or every other day. And I'm not going to lie, it is very draining when you're shit. So I'm not going to land it every day because I want to go outside, smell fresh air, spend time with my girl, maybe go and see my grandma and granddad. You know, I'm not going to land shit every day. If this club continues to go into turmoil and there seems to be no way out and no way for return, then I have to talk about other things too. I think Younes said it as well, because you just cannot live a happy life and talk about Chelsea every day. It's not possible at this point. At this current moment, I'm seeing people walk away from talking about Chelsea because it's too depressing. It's too depressing for some people. It's one of those things. It's so funny. As soon as you get into a moment of hope and you're like, right, that was a win. Let's see if we can follow that up with another so we can really get behind the boys, you know, so we can go on a bit of momentum. Bang. Straight away, you're gone. Last minute equalizer against Sheffield United. If that doesn't send you back crashing down to earth, I don't know what will after that Man United game. It makes the Man United game null and void. And now we're going into Everton next, and we don't even know if we can win the game. We honestly just don't know. Nobody can sit there confidently after what happened against Burnley and Sheffield United and say hand on heart, they truly believe that we're definitely going to win that Everton game. They just can't do that. And I think that is quite incredible. It's quite worrying, but it's quite incredible at the same time, because Everton are, they're in a dogfight. I think they've just been deducted another 2 points. People were saying, "Yo, we're going to give them straight back." So, it's crazy.
They are a lot more quality than Burnley and Sheffield United. I actually watched Everton versus Burnley, the last game. Far more organized. Do you know what I mean? Like, they know their strengths and weaknesses, and they play within that particular realm. They don't try and overdo their football. They know what they're good at. They know what they're bad at, and they try and keep it simple. Bruv, we don't know what we're good at. We certainly don't know what we're bad at. We have no idea who we are.
Yeah.
So, and when you have our manager, there's a little clip that was going around. I don't think it was a recent clip, but whatever it was, it's clear to see when we watch the game. We have a manager that doesn't rate the tactical side of the game.
Yeah.
He's more interested about, I'm there for you. I want to make sure you're well looked after. Here's the 11 I've selected, guy, and do your thing. Yeah. And that is exactly how we play, though, right? We don't know how to build up. You have Thiago Silva screaming at Chalobah, move forward. Like, come on, man, give me an option. You have Enzo Fernandez always instructing players where they need to be. Cole Palmer, post-match, apparently was disgruntled with Desasi and Nicholas Jackson. He's been saying, apparently in that match, he was very upset with Desasi because he wasn't making these runs like Malo Gusto does.
Yeah.
And giving options. So these are not for players to decide.
That's no surprise, though. Like, we know Desasi cannot overlap, cannot bring width. It's not going to be an attacking threat.
Absolutely. But on that, Matisse, before you go on the next point, sure, Desasi doesn't know. But what's Pochettino at least saying? Yes, it may not be in your remit to do what Malo Gusto does, but you do need to. This is the role we need you to do.
Yeah.
At the moment, it seems like Poch is not even giving instructions as to what needs to happen in each role, in each phase of the game, at a finer detail. In this day and age, I'm sorry to say, some of the best managers out there are giving details to every nitty-gritty point of the game.
But this is where, that right-hand side is where it confuses me, because Madueke, we know, and Gusto don't have the best chemistry and cohesion, because usually what happens is that Madueke is holding the width, and sometimes we're getting a fullback's way. So that's why I like the Palmer-Gusto relationship, is because Palmer naturally tucks in, he drifts into the inside half spaces, and then Gusto gives the overlap. Yep. Now, what he's done there is completely gone the opposite way. He's played Desasi at right back, and he's got Madueke at right wing. So I guess there's no need for the overlap, because Madueke is always going to give the width, and he's going to take his man on. And usually Madueke doesn't really need help taking his man on, because he always goes past them. But Palmer in the 10, in my opinion, we've seen it quite a few times. It's not his best position at Chelsea in this season. It's been right wing. Now, Desasi's best position is not right back. I think even Chalobah's better in that position. Cucurella's best position is not as an attacking, overlapping fullback. He just can't bring much to the game going forward. And Gallagher's best position is not left wing. So I've named four players, I believe, that he's played out of position away at Sheffield United. And he's done that instead of making one change to Gusto, which is to bring someone from the academy who's probably excelling and doing very well, who plays at right back, who can overlap Palmer and leave him at right wing. And that's the only change you have to make. Against Sheffield United away, you could have made one change, made one bold move, as Ten Hag did, playing a centre-back in the game against Liverpool, as Klopp has done many times, bringing his... Imagine a youth project where we are scared to promote our own youth at Cobham.
I think Alfie Gilchrist could have done that.
I don't think he's great going forward. He seems to just be a shithouse who can just kind of, do a young
for a one-off game. But yeah, I mean, for a one-off game. Like,
I think we have... I would be shocked if we don't have an academy right back, considering how many we produce, that is actually good at going forward and can actually bring something. Remember, this is Sheffield United, so we need to attack. So that's why I'm like, where is the bravery to bring through a young... I'm not saying it's something that we have to do every single week, because obviously we know that the team's imbalanced and there's not any leadership, so it's not easy to do. But against Sheffield United, the worst team in the league, if you can't bring through someone at that moment to just keep the balance in the team and keep all the profiles the same so we can play the same way, which is what we should be trying to do. You know, we should be trying to demonstrate how we're going to play against these. I'm not even talking about now Newcastle's. I'm not even talking about Brighton's. I'm talking about Sheffield United, where our style of play or the way we want to impose ourselves should be so clear that my grandma should be able to tell us what's going on that pitch, because it's Sheffield United. This is a team that lost 8-0 against Newcastle. 8-0. So that really annoyed me. And I didn't even really get to talk about the lineup too much because the Man United game was on just before it, so I was covering that. But that result was mainly on Poch for sure.
Yeah.
So Younes, if you want to add anything to that before we move on, but yeah, that was my Sheffield United rant. I'm sorry.
No, he completely mismanaged the whole situation. I agree. And like I said, with where we are, there's tons of reasons as to why we are where we are. But that Sheffield United bottling was primarily down to Poch, and clear as day. And it can't happen. It just can't happen. That second goal, you know what's mad? You knew what was coming. And this is Sheffield United, but you still just knew what was coming. You know, we went 1-0 up and you just knew we were going to concede. We go 2-1 up and you just knew we were going to concede. And they were the better team. This is what's actually crazy. Sheffield United were the better team on the day. Like, we're talking about bottom of the league, won 3 games out of God knows how many we've played so far, 30, 31. They were the better team and could have won that game. They just lack that quality, and that's why they're bottom of the league. But they still had enough to be able to get a draw in that manner as well. Those circumstances, it felt like an absolute dagger, like a proper, and not no small dagger either. Like, I'm talking about one of them like sort of machetes that you find on the streets of London nowadays. Like that's that sort of dagger that we got.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And that's just, it sums everything up. The fact that you just knew that you weren't safe against Sheffield United, it says everything you need to know. And and I agree. Poch was primarily the reason as to why that game went the way it went.
And you know what? As Matisse said, like, it was really just the one position that you needed to alter and pretty much keep the rest as much as possible to keep the consistency. And that's one side of the argument. You could have just done that. You didn't do that. Okay, no problems. You didn't do that. And you tried to fix one area by dismantling 4 others. If you're going to do that, you need to give clear instructions as to what needs to happen in those positions. You can't just simply put Desasi there and then wonder why a Cole Palmer is getting upset with Desasi. Because if you're going to put Desasi and you know his profile, which it looks like Poch doesn't, that he's not going to bomb up and down the channel, and he knows that Madueke is going to hug the touchline, then why isn't Cole Palmer across this particular instruction? Why is Cole Palmer getting upset and wanting more from Desasi? There seems to be a clear miscommunication here. Why is Cole Palmer upset with Nicholas Jackson?
For me, I didn't even. Where did that quote come from? Because I didn't even cover that quote. I saw it on the TL.
Simon Phillips.
Yeah.
And then, okay, you want to put Conor Gallagher on the left side, and I've seen that. I think we've seen Conor Gallagher on the left side in another match somewhere a while back.
Sometimes he's altered to a 4-4-2.
When he was sick, Matisse. Remember when Conor Gallagher was sick? He was put on the left side.
Yeah.
He was ill or something, but he came back. Okay, no problems. You want to put Conor Gallagher on the left. But what's Conor Gallagher's role in that left side? Is he going to be a 1v1 winger? Or is he going to be more tucked in? And if he's tucked in, have you told Cucurella, like, what's his instructions? Is he capable of bombing up?
He was bombing, but he was bombing forward. But my God,
he's not capable. But
it's not capable.
You know what I mean? Like he's done it, but he's not doing it. So what I'm trying to say is that you didn't need to make all of those changes, but you did. And the fact that you didn't give any instructions as to what needs to happen. For me, it's a complete fallacy, honestly.
Matson would have been good for going forward and cover and overlapping and doing that. Andre Santos would have been good for coming on if Enzo's tired and dictating play and popping the ball around.
All I'm saying is, Matisse, even with what you have, and Younes, let me know what you think about this as well. All I'm saying is, with what you've got, you could have come up with a better plan to beat Sheffield United, who are last in the Premier League. And we were made to look as if we are the ones who didn't have any plan and they had a superior plan than us.
This is why I don't go into the individual errors, because when you lose on XG and on shots against Sheffield United, that means you didn't even batter them in the way you should to go and lean on the individual errors afterwards. It should have been three goals clear before Badiashile was pissing around.
And you know what was the crazy part? You could clearly see Sheffield United's game plan. You could see that it's more ball over the top, try and win the aerial duel, number one, try and win the second balls, and then really just try and penetrate as much as they can in the final third. They weren't about the build-up and controlling midfield. They're about, let's try and get into your final third and let's see what you do when you're under pressure. And we crumbled.
Yeah. As always. Yeah.
As always. And it's exactly that. You see, it's a different situation to before, because normally when you see these sort of results, you look at the performances, it tends to be mainly the manager and his tactics are out the window. They're not working. But as a result, players begin to get frustrated. Players begin to lose trust. Players begin to down tools. That's kind of the normal route that we're used to, right? And then all of a sudden, the dressing room's been lost. This isn't it. Like, it's mad. You can see that the players are actually somewhat invested in putting out what Poch is, whatever he's telling them, and it just doesn't work. and they keep going and going and going, but it's just not working. Yet at the same time, and this is what's kind of concerning, it seems like at least a good portion of the squad are still content with it. And that's where you look at lack of the main factors that we constantly ramble on about on here and on our channels. And there's no leadership. There's no one taking it by the balls. There's no one commanding. There's no one setting an example. There's no one that is improvising on the spot to come up with a solution, because at the end of the day, even the manager is responsible for a good portion of the way that we play. But when it comes down to the moments, right, with the ball in a certain place or a certain circumstance or a certain 1v2 or 2v3 or whatever, like that can arise on the spot, and it's going to be down to the player as well to improvise and sort that out in the moment. Well, we ain't got players that are capable of that, and we haven't got a manager that's even dictating, sending the players in the right direction of what needs to be done. So it's a mess on every level.
And this is why I'm guessing. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, so when you come up against Sheffield United, and respectfully to Sheffield United, yeah, respectfully, but I'm sorry, a team of, this is going to sound arrogant, right? But a team of what our stature should be, on a bad day, we should be winning 1-0. Or
100%.
It should be a non-negotiable. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sheffield United should be one of those fixtures you see on the calendar, like we used to before. You see and go, yeah, 3 points. And even if it's not a great day, you just know that you're going to get it over the line. It's like, do you expect a Man City to rock up to Bramall Lane and bottle it the way that we did? No, you just know that, and they know, and Sheffield United know. The players in the tunnel will know that, this is a day out, lads. Like, we're not really going to get anything from this, but just go and have fun. And if something happens, it happens. But that's the vibe. We haven't got that anymore whatsoever. So,
I want to. The reason why I want to start with Poch is because obviously there was news yesterday that Pochettino is safe if he makes Conference League, which is any form of Europe, right? Now, for me, Conference League should not count. I don't think Conference League should count. you need to be making minimum Europa League, and then it goes to, you know, the board to decide. But in my opinion, based on who we have and who we've signed, and what he's done so far, I don't really feel like he should be in the job next year, no matter what happens. No matter what happens. Because I don't see him winning every game to the end of the season. So there's no point in bringing up that hypothetical. I don't see us winning the FA Cup. But even if he was to, and then still finishing 10th or 11th or wherever we are, I wouldn't keep him in the job, because it's now apparent to me for quite a few weeks now, and probably to others way before me, that he's not getting the best out of that midfield, and he's not going to get the best out of that midfield. He's just not going to, because the way he wants to play football and the way that this team has been designed, it doesn't make sense. If we had signed Szoboszlai and Endo, and we had Gallagher in a midfield three, and we kept Mason Mount, I think Pochettino's football would probably show a lot more. Or if we signed Onana from Everton, or Paulinho, or whatever it is, right? I'm not saying that he's a shockingly shit manager and he's going to go and do a terrible job in his next job or whatever, but it's just not making sense. Enzo, Caicedo, you want to add Angelo to it. You got Palmer, you got Kentry Pires coming through in 2025. You got Lavia. It's just not designed for Poch. This is not what he prioritized quite clearly. And it's quite clear to me that the directors, not only is it too late, in my opinion, financially, to go and gear towards Poch, because you can't spend 250 million on a midfield and bin it. But also, if they're going to sell Gallagher, then, like I said, they're just not interested in how he plays. They're not interested in his principles or his ideology to kind of steer the team in that direction. They're interested in the accounting and the books. So the bare minimum they need to do in the summer is get a manager that aligns. The one thing that Poch has been able to do is, you know, keep that squad in unity. There hasn't been any bickering too much. There hasn't been any in-house arguing or fighting or reports coming out. I could say at the very least, that's the one thing he's been able to do, is keep that thing, keep that team as some sort of happy family. The next person that comes in has to keep that, but then also now build upon that with, you know, playing a style of football that actually suits those players. At the bare minimum, if the directors are not going to change, if the ownership are not going to change the directors, they're going to keep bringing in players like this. At least bring in a group of players that can play the same style with a manager that can run that style. And obviously that's where people will speak about De Zerbi or Xavi, or whoever it will be. Obviously, there's a couple of German managers that will become available in the summer as well. Nagelsmann and Flick is there as well. But I personally don't even think those are even realistic, because I think we've fallen too far to attain those level of managers. Maybe even Xavi is probably too unrealistic as well. I don't know how you feel about that, Miz. I know you're a big Xavi fan, but I don't even see that happening, to be honest.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. I know Younes doesn't rate him. I really don't understand why Younes doesn't rate him. Like, it baffles me how he can't rate that guy.
I saw you go back and forth. That was so funny.
No, I'm not saying I don't rate him. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
You just don't think he's Chelsea level.
I'm worried that it's still a bit experimental. I'd like to see him a little bit more. But at the same time, if you're offering me the choice, like I said yesterday, if you're offering me the choices of who's available, like I said, I agree. I'd put everything on Nagelsmann or someone and go, listen, we are sorry.
Yeah, he rejected us last year. Well, someone rejected someone.
Exactly. It's not going to happen. If you offered me, for example, the choice between Xavi and De Zerbi, right? I'll go with Xavi. Cool. Not a problem. Right?
Yeah. Look,
but the thing with Xavi as well, I do think there's one factor. I think that in the same way, it's not really the same way. Lampard was Lampard, but Xavi is Barca through and through. Xavi knows that club like he knows his missus. So, you know, like it's
probably knows a club better than his missus.
Exactly. Imagine now taking Xavi and throwing him into Chelsea. You know what? I think at a time where he as a manager needs to still grow, you're offering him way too much chaos. It's like Chelsea's a mess.
Look, I do think it's experience that I don't know. I don't want to speak. I'm not speaking of managers. I'm not speaking of managers.
I think he's experienced chaos even more than Chelsea.
Like, Barcelona is a lot.
Shit that Barcelona, the different levers that they pulled, they don't even have broadcasting rights or TV rights or whatnot. They don't have. They're doing some madness over there. Like we know, like literally a couple of seasons ago, all the stuff that they had to do in order to reduce their wage bill. Like everything that Chelsea's trying to do, Barcelona has done it in tenfolds. in tenfold.
I would say there's a slight difference. I would say the Barcelona situation involved criminal activity. It involved the previous president and all of that going on, and then everything flipped, right? And the economic levers, I think, were a situation that.
You think we've not done criminal activity in the previous ownership?
No, not saying. I mean, people were literally prosecuted. Like, but Bartomeu and what was going on there was crazy. Laporta comes back and tries to. And Laporta was from a time where him and Xavi, at least, well, Xavi as a player anyway, was part of that fold where things were clicking quite well. So there is a rapport. You stick Xavi into this Chelsea, for example. These owners have come in after the chaos has already taken place, right? With Roman and whatnot. They've come in and they've wanted to put down their model. And we've now seen what their model is, and they're not batting away. You're going to need someone like Xavi to come in and agree with everything that these owners are wanting to do. And
But Younes, Xavi's done pretty much that at Barcelona as well. Like the amount of kids that he had. Bro, he fielded a 16, I think. Yamal is 16 or 17 in the quarterfinals. Yeah. Alejandro Balda, I think, is, 17, 18, maybe 19, max. Pedri, how old's Pedri? Gavi. Pau Kubarsi, who I've been now watching for the last 3 games. Man, 17-year-old CB. He's playing like a proper defender. Like marking Mbappe. Like, this is no joke, man. Like, honestly, he took over from Barcelona where they didn't win a La Liga for, I think, 3 seasons. And it was in a bit of a decline under Ronald Koeman. He took over. He instilled the philosophy back in. And this is what I like about Xavi, right? And this is not just about Xavi. Any manager in this day and age, I am absolutely now certain you cannot move forward anymore without a certain way of playing football. You need to have a brand.
Even Thiago Motta is going to Juventus.
Bro, Thiago Motta is doing madness.
Thiago Motta had a really
he's doing madness over there in Serie A. So,
but Juventus don't usually go for those types, but they are now.
Yeah, you need to have a manager that is going to have a set philosophy. You have someone like Pochettino, that clip that we showed, and a lot of people say, oh, that's out of context. I don't really care about context, mate. It's clear to see how we play. You have Pochettino who's saying he don't care about philosophy. He don't care about methodology. You need that. You can't just be like, go out there and have fun. That's going to get us to where we are now, which is 10th, 11th, 12th. Xavi, the way he played against PSG off the ball, there was a distinct characteristics of the team against PSG off the ball. Deep, defend tight. When you win the ball, attack the space, control the midfield when the opposition has dropped back. You could see every phase of the game what Xavi has drilled into the team as to what needs to happen. When was the last time we felt like that about Pochettino? There's only one game, I'll tell you, one game where I felt Pochettino was on the dot, and I don't even think it was Pochettino, It was off the back of the players having a meeting. It was the Aston Villa game away from home in the FA Cup when we won 3-0. That was the one game I felt that made Enzo Fernandez look good, Caicedo look good, the midfield was solid, and everything worked. You know why? Because the players actually told the manager, Gaffer, let's just show you what we can do as a team. Let us do our thing.
So why don't they keep doing that?
I don't know. Well, he's the manager. He wants his way of playing. He wants to play Gallagher left wing. He wants to play Desassi at right back. He wants to play this, that, and the other. You gotta roll with what the manager wants.
I don't think these players are capable of managing themselves. They make too many mistakes.
No chance. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying let them manage for the rest of the season all by yourself. What I'm trying to say is that this squad needs a manager that's actually going to give them detailed information. The game is, a lot of the fans will sit there and go, oh my God, no, it's very simple. Pass to him, pass to them, and put it into the goal. No. It's very, very complex now. And if you don't believe that, then I'm sorry. Keep enjoying 10th, 11th, and 12th. More to come.
I was going to say, quickly, shout out to OS, right? But who wants a job?
Why? Because we'll publish it on
anyone
Twitter.
want a job? If anyone's looking for a job, right?
We are looking for a recruiter. Or was it? No, we're looking for analysts.
What's going on?
Recruitment analyst.
Recruitment analyst.
Advertisement is on LinkedIn, so feel free to apply.
What, from Chelsea Football Club?
Yeah.
Huh?
From Chelsea Football Club.
I think Gary Taphouse just tweeted it. I think he works for Sky.
Yeah, it's
sometimes
there.
he tweets Sky jobs as well.
Chelsea Football Club put up a job link in. Where?
Younes just went to go and apply. You're Younes. Younes, are you?
Younes, we got a podcast to do, bro.
Younes, are you qualified? I don't think you can apply, Younes, for that. Younes, come back. Younes. Oh my god. Younes.
Nah, bro. He ran, bro. He saw an opening and he
did he just see the salary and just dip?
He saw
Younes,
he saw 6 figures and said,
what
am I doing here? What am I doing at Matisse's channel?
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man. Do you know what I mean? Oh my god. Younes, come on.
But no, I mean, look, I don't think everything what Younes was saying in terms of does like Xavi is Barca through and through. Would he ever want to come to Chelsea? Maybe not. What I'm trying to say is that don't disrespect this manager, mate. Like, people seem to rave on about Arteta. Arteta's won nothing yet besides an FA Cup. Xavi's won a La Liga, ladies and gentlemen, with not the classic Barcelona, with not your star-studded Barcelona players. Like, he's done it with quite an average setup against a star-studded Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So,
sorry for that.
Respect.
Did you apply?
Jordy, that was quick, bro.
I just applied.
And he had the interview.
I wanted to. Yeah, I got rejected. Apparently, I speak too much. I speak too much, and I can't. They don't want me. So.
Oh, okay. You're not collaborative enough.
I'm not collaborative. That's the word. That's the word. I'm not collaborative.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to log in, like to post a comment, and then it took me out the stream. So there you go. Anyone wants to apply? I'll put the link.
What's the role again? What is it?
Oh, recruitment analyst.
Well, what, we don't have enough of them? We need more.
So basically, anyone we recruit will now be analyzed.
So what does what's his name? That Carl McCauley from Brighton. What does he do?
He is a scout, I believe, isn't he?
Oh, he's not a recruitment analyst. He's not a recruitment analyst.
I think he analyzes the recruitment, but this is the guy that's going to recruit the analyst. I don't know.
His job is to look at Brighton and to
do Brighton watch-alongs.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, I guarantee. Like at Cobham,
Can you imagine?
If you go onto his computer, if you go into his files, right, and you look at the video footage that he has of teams that he's been looking at, it's just Brighton.
Do you know what? They should actually have someone to watch Brighton games, like a Brighton YouTuber. I would do that. Brighton watch-alongs. I'll be there.
You want to be like the first Brighton
watch-along guy?
YouTuber,
yeah. Because they're going. They're sending Pochettino and Stanley to the ground. I'm getting a bird's eye view.
Yeah, why not?
All bases covered, and then we can all compare notes.
We might as well cover Brighton because it's basically the same thing.
Younes, does the job entail a description? What they have to do? What is the role?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Can we know? Like, I'm keen to know what this individual needs to do.
Firstly, just the requirements, so then anyone that's interested, you've got to make sure you have this, right? This is what Chelsea Football Club are now looking for. You need a degree in sports analysis or sports science, right? You need a full UK driving license because, you've got to be moving like Mr. LDTT on the road. And an FA Talent ID level 3. Desirable, not even, obligatory. No, desirable. If you got it, it's nice, right? Cherry on the cake. Minimum of 3 years experience in performance or recruitment analysis. So 3 years does the job now, right? And you need to be proficient in the use of video, telestration tools like Piero. Proficient in the use of presentation tools. The ability to interpret data sets, of course. You need to know how to read data, right?
Yep.
possess excellent organizational skills and the ability to see a task through to its conclusion, because clearly we're missing that at Chelsea, and exceptional football knowledge with the ability to apply this knowledge within the context of coaching and performance analysis. But in terms of the actual function, to support the global scouting and recruitment department with video data analysis, player insights, and any general scouting projects required to ensure world-leading modern processes are in place to secure elite-level talent. We are trying to go for all the best young kids we can find.
Even in our back room, even
we don't
like
have all of them already. We don't have all of them already.
You'd think.
Oh, dear.
No, it's mad. It's really mad.
This super chat says that's why you respect Champions League winner like Mount, not Boo.
Out of nowhere, RKO, Randy Orton, RKO, just out of nowhere from the top rope.
I thought these owners were really active on social media, so they will see how fans feel from recent reports. They're not changing. That's really scary. Stamford Bridge super chat. I mean, Todd Boehly did speak via, was it Forbes?
Yeah.
So he spoke about how it's great that they care, but it's unfortunate that we don't.
No, it's great that they care, but it's also sad that they care.
That they care, yeah.
No, that's his quote. Yeah. Like
basically,
that would be
thanks
such
but no
bad
thanks.
thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks but no thanks. That's
Great,
pretty much it.
It's great that you peasants care, but sad that you do, because it doesn't matter.
I think that's pretty much what it is, man.
Sounds so political, like London politics, right? It's great that you care about, education and healthcare and all these things. You're so concerned, but it's sad that you do. It's sad.
Because nothing's and you
because
know
why?
At the end of those quotes for with Forbes, he did say we will still see the course going.
They have to.
You know
They kind of have to.
He's doubled down. This is what he said. Like, it's sad that you care because we are going to continue the way we are continuing.
That is.
I mean, how crazy would it be if they spent $1 billion and they didn't even see it through? They're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if they were because obviously if they changed it now, with what money?
Yeah.
With what money are they going to change it? So the players that we need to bring in potentially, obviously there's some freebies and stuff, but there's still players that need high wages, even if they are on free transfers, because that's why they're potentially going to be on a free transfers. They're just trying to run their contract down so they can take a massive agent fee and a massive wage. So the wage bill is going to be disproportionate again when someone comes in and then Enzo's like, oh, or Palmer's like, oh, and then suddenly that fluctuation in the wage budget is going to start because people are going to be on crazy fees and crazy wages, or it's going to have to be high transfer fees at the very minimum, at the bare minimum, and that's obviously quite a difficult thing to do now after you spend $1 billion. So even if they were to switch it up, they would still get a lot of criticism because it'd be like, wait, so you spent $1 billion and you're not even going to see it through now. You're just going to it's like, how can you spend $1 billion and get it that wrong and then not even see it through to the end and not even make sure that, do you know what I mean? So it's mad. Either way, it's mad for them.
This is the question for you though. See what through? What are we trying to see through here?
Whatever they see. I don't see whatever.
I'm
blind.
So what are they seeing? Like, so let me get this straight.
They told you what they see, innit?
I've spent £1 billion, and what I'm seeing is young players coming through, and I want to develop them to be Messi's in the future, and that will potentially make me win league titles. Is that what we're trying to? Is that what we're trying to see through?
What they see is two players position for the under 23 to under 25 in each position, and they're going to develop all of them at the same time, and they're all going to become minimum either world class or top players, and then we're going to have a great team. That's how we see it. And
is that what they really think?
Yes, they told you this. They told you that they're trying to buy.
Yeah.
If you're trying to buy two players under 23 level, two of the top players in the world in under 23 level in every position, based on data, right? which is what they're doing, because every single purchase is 16, 17, 18, 19, right? That's the plan. And then they're all going to develop together at Strasbourg or at Nottingham Forest or wherever they go. Yeah. And then they're all going to come together at as one. And they're going to be all top or world class together. And then we're going to be at the top.
And this has happened before in other clubs. Like other clubs have done
No,
this.
it's never happened before. It's never happened before.
Okay,
However,
so this will be a first time.
However, as they told you already, people have been doing it wrong previously.
So they're going to do it right.
They know better, and they have more information because of the data as well.
Right.
And so they're going to do it. They're going to do it better. They're not going to just do what was done. They're going to do it better.
And have they been doing better for the last 2 seasons?
Well, not yet. You have to be patient.
Got to be patient.
Be patient.
I'm such a silly guy.
Silly Billy. You got to be patient. All right. It's not going to happen overnight. As Pochettino said, it's going to take 4 to 5 years.
All right. Okay.
So how many years are we in? 2. Right. And Enzo was told it's going to take 3 years. So next year's the 3rd year, is it? When at the end of next season, we should be in at least Champions League, because that's what Enzo would expect. Enzo Fernandez would expect to be playing Champions League football, because that's what he was playing, I think, at Benfica before he even got here. So he would expect to be playing Champions League football next year. But remember, on a couple of shows ago, I said we need to make Champions League football next year, and people started laughing, and rightly so, because it's very unrealistic probably to expect Champions League.
Yeah,
it's ludicrous to be expecting Champions League football back-to-back seasons with no Europe, 1 game a week, with the amount of money we've spent, with the amount of players that we have, the amount of player and potential. It's crazy to be thinking about Champions League football. But if we don't think about Champions League football, we would have lied to Enzo Fernandez, and I'm pretty sure that will have its consequences in terms of sales for certain players, Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, etc. Can this club really afford to be out of Champions League football for another season, based upon the fact that that purchase of that building that we had yesterday is not going to take us really that much closer to a new stadium, unless we're going to rotate the entire pitch and build an 80k stadium in the next year to change the revenue for the financial year of 24-25. It's a lot to do. So personally, I think we need some form of European football pretty soon. It's going to be a long day.
Doesn't think so, Matisse. I'm sorry. He's going to see it through. He's going to see it through.
Mad.
You've explained the model. This is where we are. So it's never worked before. Yet we have this weird belief that it's going to.
Yeah, but electricity wasn't working once. And then someone made it work, Younes.
Huh?
Electricity wasn't working once, and someone made it work.
Oh, well, it goes back to that same saying that
innovators.
What's his name? What's Gino De Campo said, didn't it? If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
She would have.
She would have, yeah. She would have, this is. I don't even know what to say anymore. I really don't, man.
Do you know what, lads? Honestly,
this is why we're screwed.
And to the live chat as well. This is why us content makers now, and people like you guys enjoy watching us on a day-to-day basis, want to keep up to date with what's going on. We are fed up of repeating the same news. Like, we know what the issue is. We can't spin that same issue with a different color every single day. This is why sometimes some of us don't want to talk about Chelsea anymore. So what's there to talk about? Like, I see Big Six every now and then. Even the normal bigs, like or the other panelists, they're fed up. Like,
they had a minute silence.
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny. But like Thabz is the only one that want to keep cooking because obviously Spurs fan. But everyone else are quite fed up. Even Turkish, like he's an Arsenal fan. He couldn't give a 2 cents about Chelsea anymore.
Yeah.
Man City, Hugh, like he's repeatedly keeps saying this is like rubbish to talk about. It truly is.
Yeah.
It truly is. Unless we do something, and this is not about, if you can't support us through the hard times, don't support. No, mate. We are in hard times for the past 2 seasons. And we've all been supporting. Don't tell me that we don't support. But there comes a point, like, what can we say? What can we do?
As you go down the leagues, I would assume that those clubs' fan bases, especially if they've fallen far down, depends on the club. I think if it's for instance, I don't know. Bromley have made it to League One. I'm sure the Bromley fans speak about it every day because it's just incredible what's going on. But say you're Portsmouth and you're in the Premier League and now you're in League Two. They're not right now, they're in League One, but just as a hypothetical, probably don't speak about it every day because it's probably a bit depressing. You know what I mean? You won an FA Cup, you're playing in Europe, now you're in League Two. Probably don't speak about it every day. Doesn't mean that you're not supporting. You're going to be there on the match day or you're going to cover it on the match day. You just won't speak about it every day because it's not fun. Whereas if you're winning or you're doing well, you're just competing. You speak about it every day. Yeah. But this comment here about Enzo, how can Enzo expect Champions League football and he's been stinking out the gav? Well, let me. This is not how football works. I'll tell you this now.
So annoying.
It's not how football works. Players, I'll tell you how it works. Players have short careers. Players will look at their previous performances before they came here at Benfica, for Argentina in the World Cup. They'll look at who's interested in them because it will be clubs in the Champions League that will be interested in Enzo Fernandez. I can guarantee you that. It's an absolute nailed-on guarantee. Just like, I mean, if Havertz was able to get a move to Arsenal and is sitting top of the league, Mason Mount to Man United, right, all those players last year, they didn't help us qualify for Champions League. They're not going to just stay, though. It doesn't matter if you've been playing brilliantly or you haven't. It's about the market. It's about who's interested. And if we're not in the position to be in the Champions League, but we believe that we've got players that are Champions League level, which I think Enzo Fernandez is a Champions League level player. Otherwise, I would not have, agreed with sanctioning a buy for him or anywhere near that price, right? So if we believe that they're at least, no one can tell me that Caicedo, Enzo, these are not Champions League level players. I think they are Champions League level players, right?
100%.
So that means if we're not in the Champions League, they will be going to other Champions League clubs because they want to play in the Champions League. And as you just saw this week, the Champions League is one hell of a competition. It's incredible. I would love to be a part of that. Players would love to be a part of that. Our players are sitting at home. Some of them don't deserve it, clearly. And I'm not saying Enzo does and Caicedo do. I'm not saying they do deserve it because their performances this season have not been on the level of Palmer or Gusto. So I'm not saying they deserve it, but it doesn't mean, that's the outcome. Kepa doesn't deserve to play for Real Madrid. He's at Real Madrid. Havertz, based on his 3 years at Chelsea, didn't deserve to be sitting at the top of the Premier League, but he is. Football is not about what you deserve all the time. It's about the market, and the market dictates where you're going to go. Simple as that. Players sometimes fall up. I don't know how they do it, but they do. Eric Dyer couldn't start at Tottenham ahead of Emerson Royale and Ben Davies at centre-back. He was starting ahead of Kim Min-jae and Upamecano, a World Cup winner for Bayern Munich this week in the Champions League. If that does not tell you all you need to know about how football goes, I cannot tell you any more than that. All it takes is one friend, Harry Kane. One friend is all you need in this world, and you can go anywhere. Eric Dyer starts for Bayern Munich. So don't worry about Enzo Fernandez, please.
Yeah. He'll find his way.
You will see.
And just on top of that, okay, forget Enzo, Caicedo, and many of our other players don't deserve Champions League. All right? We want to focus on Cole Palmer. How are you as a fan of this football club going to feel when Cole Palmer releases some public comments that I need to go to a club with more ambition? How are you going to feel about that?
Or it's not even if he says, because he might just keep his voice down. But when someone comes knocking and he agrees and he's gone, then what?
Yeah, then what? Are you going to be like, oh no, he deserved to go. He deserved to go. Yeah.
But the thing is that in that situation, the club won't be thinking the same way we're thinking. The club will be thinking, fantastic. We've just pocketed like what I expect his fee to be 120 million or something mad, right? Great, we've pocketed that money. Beautiful. Mission accomplished. On to the next kid.
We as a football fan base need to realize, forget about Enzo for a second. There's a lot of players that are not performing. Now, you may just keep referencing about Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer has been doing madness, no doubts about that. But you also have to understand, Cole Palmer's coming from an institution that holds a lot of weight. All right? He's not a Mickey Mouse player.
It's no surprise. Yeah.
He has been building slowly under Pep. If he stayed on, he probably would have been the next thing after Foden. Foden, we've all seen right in front of our eyes how he's been growing season in, season out under Pep Guardiola. This is not a coincidence. You have a manager like Pep who has, on a regular basis, keeps taking players to a different level. And then you have our manager who's been with the club for nearly 10 months. And we've seen quotes that the managerial team and the backroom staff are still figuring out the profiles of the player. 10 months in, you're still figuring out the profiles. Are you kidding me? And then we have our owners saying, oh, as soon as Klopp and Pep step out, we're going to be there to... Bro, you don't even know the profiles of your players, let alone stepping in and taking over from Klopp and Pep. Do your homework first. Do your own homework first.
Mm.
So, we, as the lad said, we cannot continue with Pochettino. We cannot. But the problem is, I'm pretty confident he will be the manager next season. He will. Because who's going to come here?
Well, this is what the article yesterday alluded to with Rahman Osman that you mentioned earlier, Matisse, about Poch is safe. Because it didn't allude to, I mentioned this yesterday, it didn't allude to Chelsea not being able to let Pochettino go. Chelsea can let Pochettino go. Chelsea's problem is being able to get a new manager in. Because a new manager in, on a financial level, would mean that new ideas, new way, and new players. Which manager is going to come in and not want players? With in a club like Chelsea, they're gonna definitely demand a few adjustments and a few changes here and there. Chelsea are. We still don't know this 100%, and truly, I think only the people from within really, really know the situation, and we will find out. We will know soon. But the article alluded to that Chelsea, if a new manager were to come in, do not have the financial power to give a new manager what he would want. So just stick with Poch.
You have to rule out any drastic changes then. Nagelsmann's and
No.
This is the thing.
It's not going to happen.
De Zerbi's the only one that I think would only need a couple of changes because I think he's worked with so many of these players already.
Yeah. And the backroom staff. Matisse.
And the backroom staff as well. And he's obviously at Brighton where he's not got the money anyway, really. So he's probably going to be a bit more grateful. But, it's rough. It's mad.
Do you know what the mad part is, though, Matisse? He's been now voicing a lot of opinions publicly. Roberto De Zerbi, post-match, pre-match, saying, I need to sit down with Brighton and talk about what the ambition of the club is and where they want to go, kind of indicating he wants to leave. Newsflash, Roberto De Zerbi, Chelsea finished behind Brighton last season, and Chelsea are behind Brighton this season. So you talk about ambitions with Brighton. We are finishing behind Brighton, by the way, if you didn't know. For 2 seasons in a row, we are now on track to finish behind Brighton. So I'm not really sure what ambition you're going to get at Chelsea. You should be going forward. So who's in front of Brighton? Newcastle, Aston Villa, them men. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe even Man United.
It's true.
We're actually, sad to say, we're a step back, I feel. Because
it's going to be 2 seasons in a row, so you kind of have to take stock of that. It's not just a one-time thing.
Yeah, it's not a one-off.
No, it's two in a row.
And I'm not really
there's
sure.
no guarantee.
2 off is a thing. Is 2 off a thing?
No, it's not. 2 off is not a thing. It's not a thing. We fly through these super chats, so it's mad. Why does Cucurella start facing up the attacker every time? Why not run with them like a normal fullback? They just knock it past him, says HBK. Yeah, there's a lot of deficiencies in Cucurella's game, unfortunately. I can't lie. It's mad.
Apparently, we're in front of Brighton. See, I don't even keep a track of the table. I don't even keep a track of the table.
I was going to say, we're 1 point ahead of Brighton, lads. Let's have a party.
Oh shit! That's the first
sorry,
time.
I made a
Is that the first
mistake.
time this season? Is that the first time this season?
Probably.
Might be the first or second time this season. We haven't been ahead of them much.
Matisse, do you even look at the table? I don't look at the table, bro.
No, I don't.
I do not
no,
look at
I
the
don't
table.
look at it. No. No.
Younes, do you look at the table?
From time to time.
And it's always in the same place, huh? We're in the
Yeah. It just doesn't move. So sometimes I lose track because teams around us keep changing. They're like they're doing things, they're moving, and we're just like stagnant. So
we went from Champions of Europe to relegation. Fodler, real quick. This is the biggest fall off of any big club in history. Clearlake out.
Bro, look at that guy's picture. That's mad.
is that
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's Harry.
Yeah, it's Harry. Yeah. Poch lost me in the first Man United game. Listen, after last game, I'm not angry that we drew. I'm angry that we aren't linked to Nagelsmann. Well, Nagelsmann wouldn't come here anyway. So you have to put that dream. If you have that dream, I've seen some people talking about on Twitter. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
it's really not going to happen.
Why are people saying that? Apparently, we are. Like, what would have changed from then to now? It's the same, if not
spent
worse.
More, got worse, and
the model's not changing.
Yeah, no.
So everything that Nagelsmann hated.
And Christopher Vell's gone. Someone that he worked with is gone.
Yeah.
9 months and no clear structure. I'll fly through these. Are we going to bring together the Avengers in 2028?
No, the Avengers happened this past weekend. That's all we're getting. WrestleMania was enough.
UCL predictions with Love and El Clasico final. A Clasico final would be good, to be honest. I think, though, it will probably be Man City versus either Atletico or PSG.
I was going to say, I think Man City Atletico is where we'll go.
I think Man City Atletico.
I still think Mbappe can go to the Camp Nou and do something, but
he stunk out. I mean, no, he didn't. He
wasn't great.
Out of the place yesterday. No, he wasn't there. No one gave him the ball. Like he just
they doubled up on him. Yeah.
No, do you know what though? Go on, Younes.
No. You could see that there was a huge reliance on Dembele and that right-hand side, and the left-hand side, Mbappe was just, up until the last maybe 10 minutes, you started to see him a little bit more. But apart from that, he just wasn't in the game.
I'll be honest, like, of course, Mbappe is an unbelievable talent. There's no doubt about that. But sometimes when I see him off the ball, just doing nothing on that left side, and he's not bothered. I'm telling you, Mbappe, if he comes to, let's say, for argument's sake, if he ever came to the Premier League, and to have a luxury player like that every single game that just does, I'm only bothered when with the ball. I'm not bothered off the ball.
Let's see how that goes.
No, but anyway. It's like I said. You see how Mbappe was playing before, right? You ain't gonna get that this time or now because he's going to Real Madrid, and he knows. Like even if nothing happens here, which is very unlikely with PSG, I think he's probably had a realization with that. He'll have a much better chance when he's at Real Madrid next season and onwards, and then you'll see like him really give effort and try because that's the pinnacle. So I just don't think he's bothered. Like
he's leaving now, isn't it? So
he's just waiting for it to all end. Yeah,
it's a shame because I think the best way for his legacy to end at PSG is to actually win the Champions League. Yeah. I think that would have been a great story.
No, but this is the
thing.
I
would have thought he would have tried to win.
No, for him, I think he's going to try when he's in Madrid. I think now, especially
but everybody wins the Champions League.
Luis Enrique and what he's done, you see the amount of games that he's taken Mbappe off with half an hour to go.
Yeah.
And that's, to be honest, I don't really blame Luis Enrique for that. I think he's actually doing the right thing because now he's trying to adjust the team for life without Mbappe. And that's the preparation you need to go through. And he's doing that. But Mbappe is clearly like, from an
Mbappe standpoint, everybody wins the Champions League at Real Madrid. It's not special. They've won it so many times. It's not going to go down in history. It's not like, it's just not. It's just another one.
Yeah.
Your legacy at PSG, if you could win the Champions League after the year after Messi and Neymar left, that would be honestly godlike in France.
Yeah.
And you're leaving as a king. Do you know what I mean? So you're probably becoming the best player in France. You're right up there with the Zidanes in history. If you were to do that for PSG, like they might regard you in that ilk. I don't know, but I thought that would be I thought that would be motivation enough personally, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. With Thiago Motta, there's no point. I mean, he's not coming. I mean, he's going to Juventus. I think that's already pretty much confirmed. So it is what it is. Top 6 with FA Cup, but Arsenal wins a double. Listen, you know me. If we're talking about talking about Chelsea's success, I'm going to prioritize that. But yeah, Arsenal winning the double is, I don't know about that.
Bro, what success though? 60 is not success.
No, but he said win the FA Cup as well. So that's what twisted my arm.
Okay.
I twisted my arm a little bit. But yeah, Miz, let the people know where to find you, bro. It's been a pleasure. I'm gonna wrap up.
Yeah, bro. The other side of the coin, obviously not much going on from Chelsea point of view. I did drop a video on Xavi, so do check that out. Literally just before we went live. So if you want to check that video out, check it out. Where I talked about Xavi and yeah, whatever news that comes up from Chelsea on a day-to-day basis, you'll see. I am interested to actually, I don't know whether I'm going to do a watch along, maybe not, but I'm interested to watch the Europa League matches tonight. Some really good Europa League matches. AC Milan with Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Roma, obviously, who's got Lukaku, Christian Pulisic with AC Milan. You got Leverkusen, want to see Xabi Alonso. So you might actually do a video of a wrap-up of those games after, because to be honest, whatever happens with Chelsea, it's just going to be the same thing, and I don't want to bore people with the same information. So yeah.
Younes, let the people know where to find you, bro. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, Younes Talks Football. You'll find my updates. I'll definitely I might push out the recruitment analyst job to the masses. You know? And I don't know if Chelsea will offer some commission for that. Clearly, they've got cash, so why not? I'm going to say that the Europa League is going to be good tonight. Bayer Leverkusen West Ham is a game that I think I'm going to be focusing on, because that's like Bayer Leverkusen are still unbeaten in all comps, right?
Yep.
So how funny would it be if West Ham were to do a number, right? And it's possible. It's possible because look, German teams coming up against English teams. I feel like English teams do tend to be the Germans' kryptonite sometimes, just in terms of styles. So we'll see what happens. But I might mention that on the channel tomorrow, perhaps. But apart from that, I'll give the latest news, Chelsea, non-Chelsea, see what's happening, and on to Chelsea Everton on Monday as well. I'll wait to get disappointed more.
Well, there you are, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the boys. Link is in the description. Smash up the likes. I will try to bring joy to your days tomorrow, or hopefully tomorrow. I got a skit in mind. Just need to film it. And it should be quite fun.
Skits.
Yeah, we love the skits. So we got to bring that back. I think the podcast
is it Chelsea related?
It is Chelsea related. Mate,
it's gonna be a classic.
It is Chelsea related. So I've got a skit and I need to film it, and hopefully it goes well, and then it will hopefully go out tomorrow. But it's going to be a good one if it all comes out the way I have it in my head. And with the podcast, hopefully Flex will be the next guest. So hopefully that will get done at some point in the next couple of days, and then maybe we can have that up as well. So yeah, there's content coming that will take your minds off of the madness that is going on. We don't play until Monday against Everton, so we're nowhere near previews yet. Press conference is probably tomorrow, but no rush on that, because look how long it is to the match. So yeah, nice little weekend to enjoy. No loss coming this weekend, people. Just enjoy your weekend, enjoy your days. Until next time, big up your damn selves. In a bit, people. Peace.